Let me paint a picture for you, and I'm guessing it's going to sound pretty familiar. The alarm goes off. You hit snooze, maybe 2 or 3 times, and eventually you drag yourself out of bed feeling absolutely exhausted. You stumble straight to the kitchen, pour a giant mug of coffee, and literally just pray the caffeine kicks in before you have to start interacting with the world. But then, almost inevitably, 2 p.m. rolls around and bam, you hit a wall. You're crashing hard, reaching for a sugary snack or another energy drink just to prop your eyes open. Sound familiar? Well, today we're going to fix that. Welcome to this explainer where we're breaking down the ultimate antidote to that daily fatigue.
It's incredibly frustrating, right? I mean, somehow along the way, we've all been conditioned to believe that waking up tired and feeling completely drained by mid-afternoon is just, well, part of being an adult. But I want to validate that exhaustion for a second, because here's the really fascinating truth. Your lack of energy, it isn't necessarily because you didn't sleep enough. Nope. It actually all comes down to the mechanics of what you're doing in the very first hour you're awake.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to start by tackling the morning energy crisis. Then we'll break down hydrating, getting light, and moving. After that, we'll talk about protecting your mental space, getting smart with food and caffeine, and finally, taking on a weekly challenge.
So, starting right off with phase 1, the morning energy crisis.
That number right there, 60, is pretty much everything. What you do in those first 60 minutes after you open your eyes is the absolutely crucial window that dictates whether you're going to thrive today or barely survive it. And hey, you don't have to wake up at 4 a.m., and you certainly do not need to take a freezing cold ice bath. You just need to optimize these 60 minutes.
Moving right into phase 2, hydrate, light, and move.
Think about it. When you sleep for 7 or 8 hours, your body is essentially fasting and sweating the whole time. You wake up chronically dehydrated. In fact, and this is kind of wild, your brain actually physically shrinks a little bit when it lacks water, which perfectly explains why you wake up with that groggy brain fog and a headache. Now, if you pour coffee, which is a diuretic, on top of a dehydrated brain, you are just setting yourself up for an epic afternoon crash. So instead, before you touch your phone or brew that coffee, you need a 16-ounce glass of water. Think of it as an inner shower for your organs. And if you want bonus points, throw in a pinch of sea salt or a squeeze of lemon to replenish those electrolytes. You will be absolutely amazed at how much faster your brain boots up when it's properly hydrated. Next up, we really need to understand the biological why behind waking up. Your body runs on a 24-hour internal clock called the circadian rhythm. When you wake up in a pitch-black room and immediately start staring at a glowing phone screen, your brain gets super confused. It thinks it's still the middle of the night, so it keeps pumping out melatonin, the sleep hormone, and that leaves you feeling groggy for hours. What you actually want is for your brain to shut down the melatonin factory and trigger a healthy spike of cortisol to wake you up naturally. So how exactly do we flip that waking switch? We use what's called the sunbeam strategy. Within 30 to 60 minutes of waking up, you need to get natural sunlight in your eyes. And no, turning on the bedroom lamp doesn't count. Go outside, step onto your balcony, or at the very least, open a window and look out for about 5 to 10 minutes. If you wake up before the sun even rises, then just turn on as many bright overhead lights as you possibly can until it comes up. This naturally hits the brakes on melatonin and spikes that wakeful cortisol. Okay, once you've got your sunlight, you move straight into the 5-minute flow. You see, while you're asleep, your blood flow really slows down, and your fascia, which is the connective tissue wrapping around your muscles, gets incredibly stiff. If you roll straight out of bed and into a desk chair, that stiffness quickly turns into all-day lethargy. But taking literally just 5 minutes for gentle movement, like neck circles, touching your toes, or doing a few cat-cow stretches, acts like a physical pump. It pushes oxygen-rich blood straight to your brain and muscles, and honestly, it completely replaces the need for that early morning espresso.
All right, phase 3. Protect our mental space.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, this might be the hardest habit on the entire list, but it is so essential. The 30-minute phone ban. Right after waking up, your brain is in this highly relaxed, impressionable state known as the alpha brainwave state. Basically, it's a sponge, and it is incredibly susceptible to external stress. If you immediately roll over and check social media, or read polarizing news headlines, or open a stressful work email, you literally hijack your own nervous system. You go from peaceful to panicked in about 3 seconds flat. And spending the rest of your day in that reactive, stressed-out fight-or-flight mode, it drains your daily energy battery faster than almost anything else. So the action here is simple. Go buy a cheap physical alarm clock so you don't need to use your phone to wake up, and just leave your phone in another room overnight. Give your brain a 30-minute buffer to just wake up on its own terms. Part of protecting that mental space involves how you plan out your day. Look, decision fatigue wastes a massive amount of mental energy. If you start your morning staring at a 50-item to-do list, your brain burns out before you even start, just trying to prioritize it all. That mental overwhelm literally translates into physical fatigue. Instead, try the one thing rule. While you're drinking your morning water, ask yourself, if I could only accomplish one thing today to feel satisfied, what would it be? Write that single crucial task on a sticky note. Attack that first. It gives you immediate clarity and totally prevents that exhaustion you get from feeling overwhelmed.
Next up is Phase 4, Smart Food and Caffeine. If your typical morning involves a pastry, sweet cereal, or one of those sugary frappuccinos, you are basically eating pure sugar for breakfast. This causes a massive spike in your blood glucose. Sure, it gives you fake energy for maybe 45 minutes, but it's always followed by a brutal crash. What you need instead is a protein anchor. By anchoring your morning with 20 to 30 grams of protein, think eggs, Greek yogurt, or a really good quality smoothie, you keep your blood sugar perfectly stable. And that stable blood sugar is what provides a slow, steady release of energy that'll carry you all the way to lunchtime.
Now, what's really interesting is the biology behind why we actually crash. Let's talk about adenosine. It's a chemical your body naturally produces that makes you feel sleepy. And here is the biological secret behind that dreaded 2 p.m. crash. If you drink coffee immediately upon waking, the caffeine doesn't actually clear the adenosine away. It just temporarily blocks your brain's receptors from feeling it.
So what happens when that early morning caffeine wears off a few hours later? All of that blocked adenosine comes rushing back in at once, hitting you like a ton of bricks right around 2 p.m. The fix for this is the 90 to 120-minute caffeine delay rule. Give your body 90 minutes to clear out the sleepiness naturally, using the sunlight and the water we talked about. Once you've been awake for an hour and a half to 2 hours, then you can have your first cup of coffee. You'll get all the wonderful mental boost of the caffeine, but entirely without the afternoon crash. It's a real game changer.
And finally, Phase 5, take the weekly challenge.
Before we wrap up, remember this. If you try to change everything at once, you will change absolutely nothing. Please do not try to implement all 7 of these habits tomorrow morning. That's just a recipe for burnout. Building a routine isn't about being perfect right out of the gates. It's about making small promises to yourself and actually keeping them. It's about gradual, sustainable progress.
So, I want to leave you with a provocative question and a little challenge for the week. Looking at the habits we've discussed, which one micro-habit are you going to pick for tomorrow? Maybe it's just committing to drinking that 16-ounce glass of water before you touch the coffee pot. Or maybe it's simply stepping outside for 5 minutes to feel the natural sunlight on your face. Just pick one, master it, and observe how it radically transforms your daily energy levels. You might be shocked at how just one small tweak can make you feel like an entirely new person. So which one will it be? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I seriously can't wait to see which habit you master first.